screwed that up. How are you this evening? Man, it's going to be a night, isn't it? I can already tell. I hope I didn't do anything untoward there. How are you? You remember me? I used to do a real estate live stream at stupid times at night for an hour or two. Then I went to Europe. I've been gone for 20 some odd days. I don't know how any of my stuff works anymore. I'm confused, disoriented. I'm jet lagged. Yesterday, I haven't been able to make it up past 8 o'clock. In fact, I'm looking at my beard and it's just gray. Oh, I found out that I speak too close to the microphone. So we're going to try and not scream into it tonight. That's going to be a mess. But you know what? You might be here. I don't even know. I don't have the count in front of me. I'm here. And we're going to do this. I have a Coca-Cola open and I have a Sprite open, and they're both about half empty. Probably not going to make it through. Just so disoriented. It's just amazing how, like when you're in well, let's be honest, before the trip, I had the flu. The flu. Oh man, I don't even know what I was doing there. So we got to have a hook, right? We have to have a reason to watch the program. So here's a couple of hooks for you tonight. One, I went through my notes and I'm not even sure if I went over some of the material we're going to go over tonight. So I could be doubling the material and I might have a different opinion than I did the last time we did it. That's maybe not a reason to watch, or maybe it is. If you want to watch a train wreck tonight, might be the one. Number two, my Twitter preparation has not been great. So not really a whole lot to go on. And three, I haven't been awake past 8 o'clock in the United States since I've been home. It's 7:35 right now on Central Time. And this could get dicey. So just watch until I fall asleep. But it's good to be back. There's a lot on the chat that I like. And I don't know how to put it out there, but the ability to try and think and respond and react in real time to, whatever comes up and not screw it up anymore is a fascinating thing. It's fun. It's challenging. And so that's what we're going to do tonight. I guess we should start off with a recap of the trip. I wanted to check on something here. I don't even know if let me see here. Let me see if this works here.
Put that coffee down. Coffee's for closers only.
Yeah, coffee's for closers. Well, it's good to know that still works. They changed the whole setup while I was gone in the background. I'm all over the place, but coffee is for closers. And lately I've been a closer. Quite frankly, I had another deal go under contract while I was out of the country, which makes you wonder how valuable I really am. But let's get back to it. So there was the flu, quote unquote, the flu. And then there was a little period there where I wasn't exactly sure, what was going on. Then we left, and there was some live streams in there, but they weren't, I don't know, there weren't a whole lot of them. And so I really haven't been streaming like regularly in a long time. And I left on the 2nd of October. It's the 24th, I'm guessing 22 days, just by my math. I'm not the greatest at thinking or doing numbers in my head, but it's almost like it's a different world since I've been back. It's like everything has changed, and yet, I'm still doing the real estate business. There's still deals happening, and I don't exactly know how to break things apart here to try and explain it. But let's go over, how is it different now than it was when I left? Okay. So when I left, interest rates, I don't know if they'd gotten a 7. They're in the high 6s. And I was like, this isn't good. We want to be at 5.5%, no higher. And we're not even close. And now I've come back and we're at the 7s. Now, anecdotal, I was at the title company on Friday with a closing that I had. I think it was Friday. Today's Monday. Yeah, Friday. We'll talk about it. We'll get all this timeline figured out. But anyway, and I was talking to my title company friends, and I was like, how many more closings do you have today? Because it's Friday, and if you've seen any of my shorts or any of my other videos, I don't like to close on Fridays. But this particular situation, I had to close on Friday, so that's the way it was. Anyway, they said, I said, well, you're the last one to close today, and it's 11 o'clock. And I was like, really? They're like, yeah, the interest rates have really, really killed things. The title company that I use, the office that I use in particular, I think I have two closers and 2 processors, and they were doing 180 deals a month during the fun times. And they don't work on weekends. So, I mean, they were busy. And now with the rates, they are now anecdotally, then I say, well, these people are slow. My business is great, but I've had buyers that have been looking for property in St. Louis and the surrounding areas this past week, where by the time they go look at the property, it's already under contract at 7% interest rates. One of the offers we had to make while I was gone was over asking. So what are you doing if you're buying a home right now? And it's to me, this is kind of the way it's been the whole time. It's like people that are buying homes need to buy homes. It's not really about, they need to. It's like a life event. Somebody's having a baby, somebody's getting divorced, somebody's getting married. These are life events. Like they're not sitting back and saying, okay, the interest rates are 7%. I better not buy a house right now. That's not the thinking. As I drove my wife to work this morning, and I looked in the parking lot of her office, and there were people with brand new cars. Okay. And I thought to myself, isn't that wild? There's been a chip shortage for a year. Toyota and some of the big manufacturers can't even produce cars fast enough. People are paying over sticker for the car, can't get a used car for a decent price. And yet these people couldn't wait to buy a new car. They went out and bought it for utility. They decided they had to drive to work in a new car, so they did. They didn't care about the price. This smacks me in the face. I am trained as a classic economist, or at least I've had all the classes to discuss economics. The central premise being that people act rationally. Now, how do you explain that one? I don't know. I've always thought that's a little bit off, because if you think about like the tulips in Holland, there was the great, everyone wanted tulips and then it died. Housing, a number of times we've created bubbles in the United States. We're in one right now. You say, well, and this is key. It's how you define a bubble. It's how you define a drop in prices. We're playing with the definition of words now more than we ever did before. And so I'm sorry, I'm getting way away from the mic because I don't know. I'm trying to get a better sound. By the way, no, better not. I'm in the middle of a thought. So people aren't waiting to buy homes. If the house is expensive, they're still going to go buy it right now. Now, that's not being shown in the data. The data is showing that the prices are dropping. The data is showing that the houses are on the market longer. It seems awful odd that I'm in some sort of pocket that's not being shown on a map, on a graph. Like, what's going on here? I don't have an answer. I mean, John, a simple question. What is your position right now if you're going to help a buyer buy a home? Well, I have to find out like kind of what's up with the house. Is it a nice house that anybody would want to buy, or is it just garbage that, how is it priced relative to the other houses around it? Can you really use a comp from, say, May when interest rates were 2% on a 30-year fixed and compare that to a house in the same neighborhood for the same price right now? I mean, the person that buys the house in that same neighborhood at that same price is paying double per month than the person is back before June. I mean, this is not what keeps me up at night right now. Nothing keeps me up at night. Tonight, if I make it past 8:00, it's going to be a moment of triumph. But what are you seeing in the marketplace? Are you an active agent? Are you just, looking to buy, looking to sell? What's going on? I know I've got a few listings coming up, and I'm kind of like, how am I going to market them? It used to be, that has changed in the marketing remarks. It used to be, here's all the like it'll say, here's all the things, offers due by Monday at such and such time, and we'll make a decision. And I haven't seen that in a long time. I haven't been home, but I mean, the listings I see, and the people send me listings all the time, and I see them all the time, and that it just hasn't been the case. So as a seller, how would I go? I'd honestly go a little conservative on my pricing. And if I had a buyer that came in and was strong, I would say, let's work on this and get this deal done. That's the smart thing to do, but I don't know if that's what a seller wants right now. The seller probably says, we want to sell it for twice what the people bought it for in June. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. So that's my position. Now, so I went to Europe and the Balkans, and I don't want to overgeneralize or anything. And I don't know how to explain it. I'm a changed person for having gone to Bosnia in particular. I see things differently now. You may say, well, how so? One of the things, like, I'm not trying to be controversial, but, the United States, we kind of don't count any history from the Indians. It's wrong. It's wrong. But I mean, you think about it in the United States, like the history starts in the 1600s, right? The Mayflower. It's not right. It's not right. Okay. It's wrong, but it is how it is. Maybe it's not that way anymore with this education. I'm just saying that's the way it was presented to me when I was growing up. And you go to Europe, and it's like thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And people literally lived and died in the same place for thousands and thousands of years. And the view of people that live in these places is not, how much money will I make in 5 years? It's more like we're here, we were born here, we're going to die here. And in the middle, it's just like a movie. Like, I'll just give an example. Yatse, which is a town in Bosnia, was like the last town to be conquered by, like, I'm going to go with the Ottomans, but it's probably not. Well, it could be. And like the 1500s. Okay. Like in the 1500s, that they were the last, and this is like a big deal. The Krajina region, one of the last places to be conquered later on in maybe the 1700s or something. Bosnia itself was a kingdom at one point in time. I mean, just hundreds, thousands of years of history. I mean, we don't talk about like St. Louis being conquered. It's a very fascinating thing. And I mean, I don't want to, I don't want to generalize. I certainly don't want to offend anyone. People that are from that culture, from that area. I don't mean anything, but just I would say as an American, I'll go with, I'm an American. Okay. Going over to the Balkans in particular, it was very, very fascinating. It was very, very helpful to my understanding. And as I can tell right now, I'm not adequately, I'm not adequately like alliterating what it is I saw. But just amazing. Will I go back? Oh, you bet I will, in a heartbeat. I just. So anyway, 15 minutes in, I was in Europe. It was fascinating. Then, wife and I got home on Wednesday night. Had to do a walkthrough of a property. It closed on Friday, but then from Thursday to Sunday, we went to a farm Airbnb in Southeast Missouri. As you know, I've spoke often about how much I would love to buy a farm in the southeastern part of Missouri and just get away from some of this craziness. I wouldn't get rid of the brokerage, but I just feel a little bit more comfortable out with fewer people. That was one thing in Europe that was when you're inside a city in Europe, like there's a lot of people like all up on you. And I didn't like that as much. It's no different than if you go down to St. Louis City. It's no different than if you go, to Chicago, but it seemed like these big cities, like where people were, these population centers were always more crowded. And this was like in some of these places I'd gone, it was the off season. Now, let's talk about one place in particular that hopefully won't cause offense. There's this place called Pog Island. And I spilled something here. I'm going to just wipe it up while we're talking. So Pog Island, okay? You say, well, where is that? That's in Croatia. It's on the Dalmatian Islands. There's like 1,000 islands, okay? But anyway, Pog. Now, I wanted to stay in Pog, but I couldn't stay in Pog because there were no hotels, at least that were showing available on booking.com. We had to stay in Novelja. If I'm screwing up the pronunciation, I apologize. My Bosnian is not where it needs to be. I'm sorry. Anyway, so where we were was like a party town, like a party destination, but we were off season, so there was nobody. Anyway, we went to Pog for a day, Pog Island. And I have to tell you, what I saw there, it was sad. And let me just go by that. There's these people, okay, from Pog, and it's an island. And they were famous for their salt production. Yes, salt. And they were the best at it in, the world. Like people would come over from Venice to get the salt. Okay. I mean, we're talking like 1300s. Okay. And they built a wall around the city so that they could protect their salt, and they were making salt and everything. Well, around 1980, right? People are like, you know what? Making salt kind of sucks. We're not going to make any salt anymore. We're just going to use this factory. It makes salt just fine. So the whole industry, the whole identity, people have been making salt for 500 years. And now it's gone. It's gone. So you say, well, that's what happens. I mean, John, look at the steel manufacturing industry in the United States. We manufacture steel, but not anywhere at the level that we used to. It's a worldwide industry. So I shouldn't feel bad about the people of Pog and their salt, but there was like, this is how they did it. I mean, they had all these pools set. It was just a fantastic thing, and it's all gone. Whole industry gone. Now there's a museum. I went to the Museum of Salt. I wanted to. Anyway, so you got Pog, right? And then now, okay, well, the salt industry's dead. What else is Pog known for? Their cheese. Pog Island cheese. I don't know why. It just is. That industry, pretty much gone. Then they make these special lace. Like lace. You know how like your grandma would have like a doily on the table? Well, these are like 10 times better. Maybe 100 times. Intricate stuff. Like I went to the Museum of Lace. And they've got these little circles, okay? It's just like, how did you do that? And they showed us how they did it. It takes like 4 years of education just to do this trade. Nobody does it anymore. Here's this place known for their salt, gone. Known for their lace, gone. Known for their cheese, gone. It's a tourist destination. They're known for their tourism now. And it's hard to deal with their whole culture being destroyed and replaced by tourism. Like that just seems wrong, doesn't it? I mean, what do you make? We don't make anything. We hope tourists come here. And it's like, yeah. It's just hard for me to I don't know, to see things just dead. I don't know. All right. So we're going to move to a different topic. I want to talk about, right before I came on, I got an email from a lender. I've got this deal going on. It's not going great. But the lender, who I don't use, by the way, I like certain lenders, and there's a reason why I like certain lenders. And I'll explain to you, this is the reason why. We've got loan commitment like tomorrow on this property. And this assistant of an assistant of an assistant in Texas or something, not even in St. Louis, writes an email to myself and the listing agent that we need to provide an amendment that says that the refrigerator is worth $0. There's no value to the refrigerator. We have to put together an amendment just to get loan commitment for a refrigerator that has no value. I kid you not. Therefore, I have to get my buyer to go to sign this. I have to write one up. I have to get the seller to. Seller may not agree. The seller may think that the refrigerator is worth something. And it's like, this is the dumbest thing. You've had this contract for more than 30 days, and you've now come at me at the last moment with a stupid request. And you've CC'd the listing agent on it, so now she knows how stupid you are. So now we've got more people involved in this. You say, John. Now look, you're doing this all wrong, John. The refrigerator has value, and this value is what makes the person buy the property. It's bullshit. It's absolutely not true. Okay. The reason why I wrote refrigerator, by the way, I write in every single board contract, because there's no refrigerator spot in the contract. You have to add it because people take the refrigerator. You say, well, they take it because there's a value. No, they take it because they're jerks sometimes. They would take the stove if they could. They would take the microwave if they could. It's assumed that it's a fixture. Now, the refrigerator is not considered a fixture. It should be. If it's built in, it sure as hell is a fixture, but some move, and so it's not. But to sit there and to come at me at the last moment and say that the value of the refrigerator is $0 is stupid. It's stupid. So what did I do? I wrote the lender, and I said, this is the reason why I don't use you. Like when my buyers say, hey, let's use this lender, I say no, because they're dumb. They do stupid things. They waste people's time and they screw up deals. And this is how. And somebody might come to me, and I watch this and say, well, they give us the best rate. It's not the best rate. Okay. Shopping around to get the best rate is one thing. This is just stupid. This is going to someone that's known to be dumb, known to do stupid things on their deals, screws up deals for buyers, sellers, and agents alike. And yet you flock to them because you don't understand how to close a deal. Coffee's for closers. These people are not closers. Now, let's go on a different path. One of the things that I was taught early in my career, not necessarily in real estate, just in life, is that your best transactions are when the people involved in the transaction have some sort of skin in the game. Now, I bungled my chance to be a power broker as a young man. I bungled it because I just did. I don't think I'm not cut out to be the ruthless, horrible person that I need to be. If you go out to San Francisco and you're pitching something, most of the venture capitalist folks are going to want to know, do you have skin in the game? You know, if things go poorly, are you going to take the hit just like we are? Okay. Skin in the game is important. Very important in a deal. Now, let's talk about skin in the game on a real estate deal. Okay. Just a typical buying of a home. Okay. You've got the seller. They've got skin in the game. They need to sell the house. You got the seller's agent. They've got skin in the game. If they don't sell the house, they're going to, have to make more payments. Okay. That's two sides. On the buyer side, you got the agent that if they don't sell, if we don't get the house under contract, if it doesn't close, buyer's agent isn't getting paid. The buyer definitely going to skin the game. They put out money, and if they don't get the property, they got nowhere to live. Okay. And then you got the mortgage guy. Mortgage guy got skin in the game. Don't get a mortgage for the house. That guy doesn't eat. He goes to a different mortgage company. Okay. All those people skin in the game. Okay. Title company, skin in the game. Doesn't close, waste time. Appraiser, skin in the game. Doesn't appraise, not going to go very well. There are all kinds of people got skin in the game. You know who doesn't have skin in the game? The 15th administrative assistant that's in Texas telling me tonight that I have to have an amendment that says that the refrigerator has no value. That guy has no skin in the game. That guy literally looks at paper every single day. It doesn't matter if he kills deals at all. He still gets paid. He gets paid a terrible wage to sit there and come up with stupid reasons why not to close a deal. No skin in the game. Don't respect that. I don't respect that. You may be that 15th assistant in your office. You may be the most worthless person in the world and working in that administrative job and killing deals left and right. So you may have a problem with me. I don't care. I don't care. I'm so sick of this. Every time people write these edicts, people do this stuff that have no skin in the game. Good enough for me, but not for thee. I don't know, whatever the hell the saying is. But it's just bullshit. And I apologize for the language, but I hate it. I just literally hate it. I would rather a deal fall through with people who skin in the game and eat it like I do versus this idiot in Texas. I say he's in Texas. I don't know where he is. He's in Texas. I think I saw something because he's been writing emails lately. Okay, I've seen him, but I haven't been paying attention to him because he's such a low person on the totem pole. I don't really care. Now he comes in with this garbage. Anyway. So what do I do? Like I said, this is dumb. I'm probably not going to do it. Deal probably won't close because of me and my inability to conform to this stupid lending policy that says that the refrigerator is not worth anything. It's just dumb. It's just dumb. I'm going to go over my notes here. We might make a pivot. Who knows? Okay. Let's go to some, look, we're not having a lot of interaction tonight. I don't see a lot of stuff coming in my way. I don't know if anybody's watching. I don't look at the stats anymore, but I'm just going to go with my Twitter stuff, and we might not make it an hour tonight. I just need to get back and get it going. I don't even know if I can hit the right button. I'm going to try. Wish me luck. Let's go. Because they changed stuff on me, so don't make fun of me. Okay. All right. Here we go. So we're going on Deerwood Realty. Now, the only reason why I'm there is to hype Deerwood Realty. The only reason why I'm going there is this. Just wanted to see the mortgage rate right now is at 7.29%, down from 7.32% last week or yesterday. Freddie Mac 30-year fixed at 6.94%. It comes out weekly. This is the start of the week. If that thing goes above 7 as an average, that's what you'll see reported. And so and take that for what you will. I know that my belief is that the Fed has got a real problem because if they want to stop inflation, they have to raise the rates in theory. And I think there's quantitative easing and there's quantitative tightening. I don't have it all down in my head, but there's this idea that if they were to raise rates plus buy, it won't hurt the people as much, but it's going to crush everything. I was thinking about this today, and it's kind of random, but I was driving down the road And I think about business a lot. I think about all the things I've learned and how they fit in daily life. And as I'm driving down this street, I'm in the St. Louis City, and driving next to me is the division of the St. Louis City roads, and we're on this road and it's all bumpy and nasty. And I'm like, I could fix this road. I mean, this is probably this person's job, but they probably wouldn't be the ones to speak out on social issues. That would probably be a little bit weird, because they need to fix the roads. And as I look at it in the Fed space, okay, these people are trained from when they leave college, like they're going to be Fed office workers, right? And when they leave their job as the Fed, they're going to be influential in places like Wall Street and politics. And so they're always going to have a job. As long as they stick to the idea or the fantasy that they control the economy and like everything they do is right, even if it's wrong. And, it's almost like they created their own world out of their own knowledge, and they use their own numbers. I mean, like the CPI rates and things like that have been juggled to not include fuel and housing. I believe, I could be wrong. You can correct me, but I mean, they've just really messed things up in their own world. And then we're all expected to live in it and be happy and just be like, okay, Fed, you screwed this up again. Great for you. I don't know. It seems weird. They should stay in their lane, yes, but have some ability to see outside of their bubble. But I think that's asking too much. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments or in the chat. We're going to continue. All right. Here we go. So I was on the Twitter, not a whole lot. I have my little real estate news list. But none of that stuff is there. The Housing Wire, 3 Washington, D.C. real estate companies are facing a $10 million penalty for discriminating against low-income renters. It was bad, but how do I explain it? I don't feel comfortable with that story because they're mainly accusations and they haven't gone to trial. And they're bad. I don't know. I don't want to look at it tonight. Okay. But here's some tweets. So this was a tweet from Mike Simonson. It says, seeing unprecedented inventory gains in homes for sale in late October. Available supply grew by 1% this week. Normally inventory shrinks by 1 to 2% per week. Now I don't know time-wise when they're talking about. And let me just try and throw this out there. So we're seasonal. Now there could be more down at the bottom. Remember, this could prove me wrong, but it's seasonal. And so like right now, we're not in our hot time. Like September is pretty much the end in St. Louis for like good real estate. Now we will sit kind of a mess until late March. Then things should pick up. It says 572,000 homes on the market, a 7% mortgage rates stopped the market cold. Here's this week's video. I didn't go to the video. It says, as a result of the unseasonal gains, our projection for end of year inventory increased $510,000 single family homes. Even though inventory hasn't stopped climbing, we still expect it to decline a bit for the holidays, maybe. See the inflection when the rates spiked in September. Now, I can't understand this chart. I don't even see September. I mean, it's not very helpful for me, and it won't be helpful for you. So we're going to keep going. It says the number of homes in contract is falling rapidly, even while inventory increases. 340,000 single-family homes in contract, with only 54,000 new this week. Last year, almost 80,000 homes went under contract at this time. Again, okay, last year, almost 80,000 went into contract at this time. 54,000. So it's a slowdown by 34,000. It says So this is out of the thread. So it says home prices are ticking back each week as expected. The median price of a single family home across the U.S. is 430. Expect closer to 400 by the end of the year. January looks to be flat when normally prices jump. Price reductions are a leading indicator, still climbing. 42.5% of the market has had price cuts. This implies the macro conditions will need to improve dramatically in order to even hope for a flat year-over-year home prices in 2023. Can't imagine demand coming back if rates stay 7% plus. I agree with this in principle. Okay. So I agree that I just want to check and make sure where we need to be. I agree that home prices have to be going down. I believe that asking prices have to be going down. However, when I go to the market in St. Louis right now, there's still quite a bit of demand. There's still quite a bit of frothiness in the market that's unusual for this time of year. And I don't really feel like it's always the people that missed out this past summer. I feel like most of those people have a home. So is St. Louis an outlier? Could be. Could be. I'll tell you. I'm sorry if I messed up the mic for your hearing on the podcast. But when I was in college and graduate school, I was at the University of Denver, and I went out there a couple times, and it was always fascinating to me. They had gone through the same boom and bust in 2007, 2008 as we did, but they had like people building skyscrapers and housing in downtown Denver, while here in St. Louis, there was not a crane in the sky. I mean, they recovered much faster. They also lost ground much faster to start. Whereas we just, I don't know. It seems like we kind of lagged the market. Can I prove it? No. Let's move on. Now, I thought this was interesting because it's kind of the way I think. It says, pay more attention to what people do than what people say. The bigger the platform a person has, the more it holds true. Thanks, Grookey2. I don't know who that is, but it says, Dave Ramsey. It says, home prices are not going to go down. That's what he said in June of 2022. And then in November of 2021, Dave Ramsey sells his Franklin, Tennessee mansion for $10.2 million. Now, I am not a Dave Ramsey apostle. I watched a little Dave Ramsey. I read his book. Well, one of them. I don't remember the name of it. And I didn't agree with anything in the book. But he has a following. Like, let's look at it this way. Hopefully this won't be as political as the event itself. There's Woodward and Burns, I believe. Okay. And like Woodward's dead or something. I don't know if I don't see anything. Or no, he's writing books, I think. Yeah, he's writing. Bob Woodward's writing books. Yeah. So he's not dead. And then so his compadre or his compatriot or partner in crime, his name was something Burns, I believe. And that guy, he's old, okay? And he's on CNN all the time, and everything he says is, this is worse than Watergate. Like everything. If like your sweater has a pull on it, CNN comes over and says, this is worse than Watergate. He's on there. Now, like his whole life, his whole being is Watergate. Like that happened in the 60s, early 70s. I don't even know. Late 70s. Nixon's presidency. Worse than Watergate. Like that's what he's known for. And I think that the trap that most gurus and everyone else falls into is like once you're kind of stuck being something, you have to be it. So like, can Dave Ramsey go buy a Ferrari on credit? Yes. But will anybody like, say, hey, that seems like kind of hypocrisy? No, no, no. It's like he's just got like his shtick. And I've always kind of, well, in real estate, it's really fascinating. Like there are these companies, and like when you talk about sales, like in general, you want to try and like position yourself in a spot where people need your services, right? Or like at least explain why you would want to use them. So, every year we'll get a new Zillow, basically, like some company that's like, we're gonna help out the agents more. We're not gonna be like Zillow and turn our backs on you. You should put your listings with us, and then it's gonna grow and it's gonna be great. And every year they fail. It's a different one all the time. But there's this one market leader, and that's Zillow in that space. But like as they talk about how you need their services, like it's like, well, you need Facebook advertising, okay? And I say, oh, well, I do. And they're like, yeah, look at what it does. And then they'll say, like, we have this statistic that shows people that advertise on Facebook get this many more listings. And you're like, oh, well, if that's true, then I better do that. And honestly, like a lot of the times it doesn't work. Like you're just buying products, especially in real estate. Like I had a guy try to sell me back office software the other day. Like there's probably 1,000 back office software companies in real estate. Like this guy here isn't going to help me. No offense. I have one. I'm the only broker right now. I'm the only agent in my office. Like, so back office software is not my main concern. So like Dave Ramsey is in a space of like personal finance, right? That's his thing. And I suspect that you can find millions of people, not millions, hundreds of people that have been helped by his total money makeover, I think is what it was called. I mean, okay. Like, so that gives him like his credence. So now he's got a space. He's got credence, like, because he's got street cred. Okay. So he has to go and say these things. Like he's part of the machine now. That's why I'm having difficulty in my space. My space, not the MySpace. I don't want to be stuck in one spot. Like I don't want to be advocating that you buy a house when the market says don't buy a house. Or if you are buying a house and the market says don't buy a house, here's your risks. Okay. And so, I mean, that seems reasonable. Like, I feel like I didn't get good data in my whole career. And now that I can kind of understand how things work, I'm trying to pass that along to you, the viewer. But it hurts. Like I'm who's going to sponsor me? Zillow's not going to sponsor me. Like one of my favorite automotive YouTubers, like Peak Antifreeze sponsors him. Well, why? Because, it fits in with his brand. My brand is not like huge corporation for the people. Well, the people don't have like a collective that can support me. It makes it tough. Not a complaint, just an observation. So anyway, this saying though, okay, the saying, watch what people do other than, I always say, watch what people do, not what they say. I'm in the show me state. Missouri is the show me state. Never been very helpful. Nobody really cares. But I've always, like in business, I used to watch people tell me like, oh, the market's going well, or, oh, this construction job's going to make you millions, and all. And I'd watch these people talk and I'd believe it. But then when it came down to it, like they're the ones bouncing checks to me, and the business isn't coming that they said it's coming. And it turns out like, these are not good people. And I think I've tried to bring it forth to my children, like if you say you're going to be somewhere at a certain time, you better be there at a certain time. Now this may be, I've heard people say that being on time is like some sort of white privilege. I don't know, but just as a person, like, if you say something, try to deliver. Like, so here's my thing. I bought a new microphone for the office. for our live stream. So the sound can be as great as it can possibly be. It was supposed to be here Saturday. Some of the other stuff I need to get it to work is supposed to be here on Wednesday. But like Friday, I should have good sound unless something goes on. So I'm telling you right now, Friday, we should have a great sounding live stream. But if I don't produce that great sounding live stream, if my products don't get it on time, I feel like I'm kind of letting you down. See, I'm saying it and then I do it. I follow through. Like if I tell a buyer, I will have this paper over to you by the end of the day today, that means by the end of the day today. It's not up for debate. And so in my life, I think that this has been helpful. And I'm trying to share it with you now. I'm not a life coach. Okay. I'm just telling you, like, hey, watch what people do, not what they say. Here's a classic example for St. Louis. American Airlines buys out TWA. They said, we will never move the hub. This will always be our hub. Now, United had a huge hub in Dallas. I believe it was Dallas. But they said, oh, no, we're never leaving St. Louis. Okay. Within and we're never letting anybody off, and everything's going to be hunky-dory. Within 2 years, out of St. Louis, people laid off. Okay. But they said one thing, they did quite another. There. Maybe I beat that to death. Let's continue. Thought this was interesting. Now, some of this stuff is like past me, so don't make fun of me if I screw it up. But it says supply is not tight in the new home market and prices are falling. Supply is tight in the existing home market. So if builders keep cutting prices to move inventory, what happens to the price of existing homes given they are near perfect substitute? Well, it says the reason why we had a spike down in month supply for new homes is that in August, mortgage rates fell to 5% and that spurred new home sales. We're at 7.4% rates now, so that month supply figure could make a high near GFC levels in the next month or two. I don't know what GFC is. I'm not going to find out today. But look, it's not good if you're like, whenever the auto industry went kaput in 2006, 2005, it was said that for every automotive job, it affects 8 other jobs. I don't know if that's true, but I'll tell you, housing affects quite a bit. So let's just say that a new subdivision is being built and there's 700 homes. Okay. And the builder has noticed that there is a softening in the market. They got two choices. Are they going to speed up and build more houses faster and hope to get out from the situation? It's going to be tough. Or do they slow down construction? And they kind of cut prices to where they can get away with it? Probably the second. Well, when they start slowing those house building down, those people that work on the houses don't have that income. Maybe they're out of work. Maybe they go work for someone else at a lower rate. But anyway, it's not good. And maybe those people are looking to buy houses on their own or fix houses of their own. And so it's does people say, I don't believe in trickle-down economics. Warren Buffett doesn't believe in trickle-down economics. But you know what? I don't know that matters. There's a relationship here that people are not getting for some reason. And I don't know why. I don't understand why people don't get the relationship between high prices, low incomes, okay, and moving forward. It's not a good situation, okay? You can't have inflation, low wages, high employment, because that's going to go. And when that happens, not good. Not good. And have I been to college? Yes. But do you have to go to college to understand that principle? No. Like a third grader could figure this stuff out. Okay. That was him. Let's go on. I thought this was interesting because I don't know. It's provocative. Let's go with that. Lower rates harm the poor more. Higher rates harm the rich more. Now, I've seen variations of this in in political discourse. The question becomes, do you want to help Wall Street or do you want to help Main Street? Can't help both. Like, let's take this as best as we can, like with my simpleton mindset. Higher rates. Let's do that one first. Why do higher rates harm the rich more? Well, their ability to borrow is much higher than those people that are poor. Okay. That's it. Okay. Now, lower rates harm the poor more because lower rates cause inflation in assets. So, like gold, real estate, we'll say currency, but that's a little bit iffy. Anyway, those prices go up, poor can't afford them. What do you think? Do you agree? And that's the other question. So, like, let's say that the Fed is sitting in their office, okay, and they're not poor. Not one of them is poor. Okay, and they're like, okay, well, Wall Street needs our help and Main Street needs our help. Who do you think's getting the help? Not going to be Main Street. Not going to be Main Street. So keep that in mind. Let's do one article tonight. I know I'm out of practice. Just so you know, I have like all these articles that I don't know if I did before. They're down here. I don't even know if I did them. I don't know. But anyway, we'll find out tomorrow. I wrote out a semen. You guys know it. So here we go. Why the housing market should brace for double-digit mortgage rates in 2023. Well, they're close. They're already close. We're at 7.3% now. Now, just so you know, double-digit mortgage rates, will they crush? Well, I mean, it's just going to crush it even more. And you say, well, you know, how tied into the economy is housing? Well, I think it's a pretty big part. I think it's a pretty big part. All right, here we go. Even if Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell and his cohorts stopped hiking policy rates soon, the 30-year fixed would still climb to 10%, according to Christopher Whalen, chairman of Whalen Global Advisors. That's because the Fed's torrid debates of rate increases in 2022 takes time to seep back into mortgage rates, especially with the Fed funds rate already jumping to a 3 to 3.25% range in late September, almost a year before, from almost zero. Lenders only slowly adjust their rates. They're not used to seeing rates move this fast and typically would change rates only once a month or once every other month. I don't know if that's true. It's the rate of change that's so ridiculous. Borrowers pay a premium above risk-free treasury rates on mortgages to help account for default risk. The 30-year treasury rate rose to 4.213% Thursday, its highest since 2011. Freddie Mac on Thursday said the 30-year fixed mortgage rate was averaging 6.94%. Remember, I was telling you that on that when we first looked at it that it would be above 7 if it continues for this week. A 20-year high that has severely curtailed demand for new home loans. But with U.S. inflation showing no signs of a clear pullback from a 40-year high, expectations have been running high for the Fed to increase its policy rate by another 75 basis points at its November meeting and potentially the same amount again in December. Now, my understanding is that they've already said they're going to raise rates 75 basis points, and then they're going to take a wait-and-see approach after that, which caused the markets to rally late in the week last week. I don't know if that's true. It says CME odds on Thursday favored a 4.75 to 5% Fed funds raise to kick off February. There's a lag in effect in mortgages, adding that even if central bankers decided to hit pause on additional rate increases after their December meeting, the 30-year mortgage rate still would easily touch 10% by February. Whalen, an investment banker, author, and specialist focused on banking and mortgage finance, urged the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission in 2008 to move complex and opaque derivatives back into the daylight after banks and investors saw hundreds of billions of dollars and losses tied to structured debt, including subprime mortgage exposure. He also provided testimony to Congress in 2009 about systemic risk of the banking industry. Now, Whalen sees another major shakeout coming in mortgage banking as profitability continues to get pinched and the housing market sputters. Here's this chart. mortgage banking profits. Like when you could refinance, that was pretty good. Anyway, importantly, Whalen also sees potential for home prices to give back all their pandemic gains if rates stay high for all of 2023. I don't know about that. That's a bigger call than estimates for a 10 to 15% correction. But Whalen pointed out that expected home flipping volumes that reached almost 150 billion or 10% of total sales in 2022, and the cold blanket of double-digit mortgage rates is catalyst for the steeper home price retreat. I don't know. It says economists at Mizuho Securities on Thursday pegged median home sales prices as down 2.5% from their peak. In the client note, and characterizing the housing market as deteriorating, but mostly in line with expectations given the sharp jump in mortgage rates. See, they were coming in and saying that home prices early, like in January and February and March, they were saying that home prices were going to increase 6 to 7% this year. They meaning like all of them combined as an average. Mortgage loan rates can be traced directly to the mortgage-backed securities or MBS market, which are bonds that trade on Wall Street, mostly with government backing that finance the bulk of the nearly 13 trillion U.S. mortgage debt market. It will take us months to get the bond market and lending market in sync so people can make money again. I mean, it's not good. It's not good. I'm going to go back to this screen because I'm getting tired. Well, what do you think? You should probably put it in the comment section. You could probably put it in the chat. We don't have a lively chat tonight, that's for sure. By the way, like I'm ready. I'm ready at the end of the show. It's a great time to talk about things, right? Let's talk about YouTube. Let's talk about two things on YouTube, and I'm not going to forget them. I'm going to write them down right now because I don't want to forget. We're changing subjects, by the way, YouTube. Shorts and community tab. Talk about shorts first. Now, look, as most of you know, I would like to grow my channel. Why? Because first of all, I'd like to be monetized. Well, why would you want to be monetized? I mean, come on. I'm not dealing with dumb people. You know exactly why I want to be monetized. Okay. I want to make money. Not like billions, not even millions. Hundreds would be fine. Hundreds of dollars per year because I've got time into this. Okay. Now, do I feel like I'm entitled to a wage or income because I've got time into something? Well, no, I've learned in my career. There's no necessary, the people that tell you that like, if you work hard, study, do all these things, you'll always be better off than the people that don't are wrong. If you have a really good idea and you have the right channel to put it out there, you'll be fine. You don't have to, all that stuff is a lie. I've gotten there. Maybe it'll help with your chances. But anyway, so YouTube shorts. I don't think YouTube's against me at all, but I have shorts, like YouTube shorts that have like 2 views. And then I have ones that have like 1,000 views. And between myself and my assistant, we have no idea which ones are going to do what. Like none. And you say, well, you can look for certain cues in your videos and then you'll know, and like look for certain cues in your shorts and then you'll know like what to do better next time. Well, there's nothing. It's so random. Okay. So that's number one. Number two, YouTube used to have a community tab. I think it was called discussion. They got rid of it. Okay. Then they had one for like people that had over 5,000 or 500 subscribers or over 1,000 subscribers. Now I'm rocking 108. I lost a subscriber. Oh my gosh. Now look at that. I've got spam. I don't know how to block it. Look, it's going to be on there forever. Awesome. I don't even know how to get rid of it. Let me see if I can get rid of it. I don't know. I just blocked the user. Hopefully they'll come back like with a different name. Anyway, that was awesome. I always wondered what I would do if somebody was doing that. Now we know. Okay, second part. So there's this community tab, and like if you have a community tab, you can make a post and then people see it in their thing. Well, YouTube recently gave us the ability to do community tabs, and it says as long as you're eligible, you can do a community. Well, I'm eligible, but I got no community tab, so I can't post to the community tab because I don't have it, even though I'm supposed to, because I've been verified. It even says in my stuff. Now, here's where YouTube and I don't get along very well. I would like to email YouTube, okay, or chat with YouTube or something and say, hey, would you look at my channel? I think something's broken. Like, seriously, some of the stuff that happens on my channel doesn't make any sense. How is it that I have a live stream like a month ago that has like 1,000 people watching? And yet tonight, I don't even know if I have one person watching. I mean, come on. And then, hey, YouTube, like, look, I'm supposed to have the community chat button and I got no community. Like, why not? Like, I think my channel's broken. Like, I really do think I have a software. I've had 660 videos, 670 videos, all on real estate. And the best I can do on a normal night is like 10 viewers. And Dave Ramsey's doing like thousands of viewers. And I mean, no one really, I've never met anybody that really is like, oh, go Dave Ramsey. It's kind of weird. Maybe it's the people I hang out with. But anyway, so do I think that YouTube is, see, you could say like, oh, well, then that just shows that YouTube's messing with you. But I literally like think about this. Do you really think that YouTube's out there and they're like, oh, you've got 108 subscribers. We're going to put you in timeout. Like, no one's doing that. No one's doing that because no one cares about a channel with 108 subscribers. No offense. I love all of you. Please tell your friends to subscribe. But I would like because I don't have the ability to communicate with anybody at YouTube in any way, like, I feel like something's wrong with my channel and there's no way for me to fix it. And I'd really like them to look at it. Like, I should have the community tab. I've been verified. It says I should have it, even in the stuff that I see. Can I have that, please? I'll use it responsibly. That was my plea. So is YouTube against me? No. But YouTube's weird. YouTube's weird. So anyway, that's what I have for you tonight. I got to stand back from the microphone. By the way, microphone's going to go in a new place. It's going to go on the other side. It's not going to be this microphone. I like this microphone, but not as much as I like the new one that I bought. I'm just being honest. Okay. With that being said, I'm going to head out. I did make it an hour. I'm going to go to bed immediately. There will be no television watching tonight. I do have some events to do tomorrow. I'll stream tomorrow night. Hopefully we can get back to a normal time. Please come on in anytime. I mean, it was nice that this guy, SexChat69 site, came to spam my site. I haven't had that in a long time. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you listen on the podcast, thank you for listening. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.